Greetings, everybody. This is Mama Rue's Ancestral Musing. If you're a new listener, welcome. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak into your ears today. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Today's topic is a difficult one. And I'm about to bust out crying right now. But I have to say it. It's important because people are hurting and confused about some things that have happened in the past couple of days. Now, it's nothing new, all right? And what I'm talking about is police brutality with a specific to white police officers killing unarmed black people. Tuesday night, which was 2 days ago, my husband and I attended a really wonderful dinner meeting with New Era Chicago. And it was a great evening of fellowshipping and communing with family. And it was very motivating and inspiring because we talked about what we're doing and what we're to be doing as far as New Era Chicago is concerned, the kinds of things that are coming up in the near future. So it's all very exciting, because once again, you're dealing with like-minded individuals with a common goal. And that goal is to create an environment of unity in the communities in which we live. If you all haven't heard before, I live on the south side of Chicago and the community of Inglewood, which most people across the country and maybe even internationally are aware is a hotbed of violent crime. So there's a real need for us to come together with a common goal. And that goal is life and love. Put those two things together and we can accomplish so much to address the ills and the things that we suffer as black folks in the hood. I left that meeting feeling so excited and so invigorated and so motivated. We leave, I get in my car, and I check my smartphone, and I've got all these notifications, and I check them, and the first thing I see is a video of Alton Sterling's death down in Baton Rouge, North Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it wasn't anything unlike what I've seen before, but I'm going to tell y'all something. Each time I see these kinds of things, it's a fresh wound. It is a fresh new hell for me. It's a brand new terror. I'm not used to it. And I don't ever want to be. I can't look at something like that and feel, oh, well, same old shit. Another black man unarmed being killed by cops. No. And unfortunately, there might be people out there who feel that way. But I'm not. And I was shaken and very distraught. It was difficult for me to sleep that night. I was engaging people on social media. People were giving, details and things about the story. And then the next day, people were trying to downplay the victimization of Alton Sterling's death and downplay the horror of it and the significance of it by bringing up his criminal history. Now, that is sort of like par for the course for white folks who don't give a damn about black people. But when I see us do that to each other, all that lets me know is that white supremacy is seductive as a motherfucker. Now, I've said that before in previous episodes. I am saying it again because it is the goddamn truth. It is a many-tentacled beast, and its reaches are long and strong. Last night, before I turned in for the evening, I was doing my regular nightly rituals, and I get a notification that another unarmed, well, in this case he wasn't unarmed, but I get to that, another black man was killed by cops, white police officers, this time in Minneapolis, I believe. And it's just like, I'm still traumatized by the Alton Sterling situation. And then we get beat over the head with another one. Now, in this case, the young man did have a concealed weapon. He alerted the officer for his safety. I have a weapon because the officer asked him for his license and registration. He goes, but I'm reaching for my information. And he's complying. He's complying. However, in the midst of his compliance, this cop saw it fit to shoot this man to death. It was all caught on video by his girlfriend. Their young child was in the car and witnessed the entire thing. When I heard these details, I made it a point to not watch the video, because I'm still traumatized over the previous one I'd seen. I can't take another one so soon. Okay? So soon. Grieving over one, and now here's another one. The topic of today's show is ancestral memory and police brutality. Yesterday I shared an image, a graphic image of a lynching. In the photo, you see a throng of white people, very well-dressed white people, I might add, surrounding a body of a burning black man. And they are all smiling for the photo, as this man's charred body lies on the ground on a pile of wood in the center of the photo. And the caption that I wrote was, ancestral memory is real, but not just for us as Africans. It's real for them too. Okay? Now, a lot of us have been very vocal in our declaration of not wanting to watch movies and shows about slavery times, okay, when our ancestors were enslaved. A lot of folks, complained, and they used their social media as platforms to, complain about these types of movies and how they hurt us, okay? These movies and stories have been reduced to slave pornography or slave porn. And it makes me very upset because I'm an ancestral warrior. But, never mind that. I understand why some folks don't want you. And I elaborated on that in my previous episode, earlier episode, Roots and Lies. So if you haven't heard that one, feel free to go back and listen. I understand. But here's my thing. When it comes to our stories, if you don't understand what's going on right now, then it's because you don't know the history. There are a lot of people walking around, with their eyes glazed over, scratching their head like, I just don't get it. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Well, if you understood the history of your ancestors of this land, you would understand. You wouldn't be walking around confused with question marks all around talking about what's going on. I don't understand why they're doing this to us. Let me tell y'all something about the police department. Back during slavery, particularly after certain uprisings and revolts occurred, the need to police, or should I say patrol, was put into place. Okay? All right? That was a need that they addressed because the fear of the possibility of enslaved Africans banding together to push back against their lot, okay? To push back against their bondage and their enslavement for the purpose of freedom. It evoked fear into the hearts and minds of white people. So they immediately came up with the idea of slave patrols. You may have heard the term patty rollers. I've seen Patty, P-A-T-T-Y, and I've also seen Paddy, P-A-D-D-Y. As a matter of fact, that's what we call the wagons that the police use when they want to come and gather up a number of folks at one time and take them all away, okay, to the precinct. Okay, paddy wagons. Paddy. And this has to do with a lot of the men who worked these patrols back during slavery being of Irish descent. Okay? Paddy was his nickname for Patrick. It was also a name given to describe someone of Irish descent, a paddy. Okay? So, a lot of these paddy rollers or slave patrollers, these were not paid jobs, okay? These were white men who eagerly took these positions in a voluntary manner because they wanted to. And why is that? Because they knew it gave them freedom and license to not only patrol the roads for slaves, particularly slaves who looked like they were up to no good, or perhaps there was the news that, someone ran away, so they can get a runaway and get money. All right, that wasn't their sole motivation. It was to kick some nigga ass, and in some cases, kill them. That bloodlust is what made them so eager to join these patrols. Okay? I read something someone wrote in defense of, these folks, that this was seen as some sort of punishment and that they were indentured servants and they unwillingly had to be on these slave patrols. That is some bullshit. Okay? Just like people sign up to be volunteer lifeguards. They do that because they like swimming. They do that because they feel, a responsibility to their communities. They can have an opportunity to save lives. They eagerly fulfill these voluntary positions. You have voluntary firefighters. As dangerous as firefighting can be, you have individuals who have it within themselves to give of their time and relinquish all personal safety for the betterment of their community. You have volunteer police officers. As a matter of fact, there was one situation where this white man volunteered to be a police officer, what they call a rent-a-cop, and he killed a black man. The black man he killed was Eric Harris. Eric Harris was unarmed. They saw it fit to knock him to the ground, and after he was on the ground, they tased him and then shot him. But before they shot him, or after, I can't remember the details, this was last year, they were on him and he was saying that he could not breathe, and the rent-a-cop said, "Fuck your breath." And then Eric Harris died. Okay? This man was indicted, by the way. The news of that broke this year. I forget his name. Bates, I think it was. So, we had a similar